It's a lovely day for everybody here, and to begin with, I want to address one thing. We normally talk to ourselves. Me, as a speaker, I've been on several stages, and during the past 4 years, I talk a lot. But every single time I return to my home at night, I realize one simple thing. I talk to myself more than I talk to anybody out there. Isn't that interesting to find out that you talk to yourself more than to everybody else? And why? During the past 4 years, I have been doing my job as a mentor and a life coach for younger people for development, for soft skills, and for scholarships, etc. And one thing that I tend to do is that I find the problems that are common shared between those younger people nowadays. And I found out that there are two common problems that all the younger generations are facing. The first one is that young people tend to lose their direction, and they are sometimes struggling with finding their own path, to struggle with finding their life direction, like where to go, what do I want to do in the future, what major I want to pursue when I grow up to be in university. The second problem is that we also do self-talk. They also do self-talk as well, but most of the self-talk that they do at night are negative. Why? Negative self-talks happen because I spotted some of them always contain peer pressure, bullied memories, or mental health issue signals. Sometimes it can be in various forms such as depression, anxiety, or even eating disorder. Some of my mentees suffer a lot from peer pressure. They go to school and they got compared with their friends, and they go back to their house. And especially when I grew up in a specialized high school, I know how hard it is for you to maintain a higher score during your high school time. And they also told me during our sessions together that they want to give up a lot of times in life. They do not know why their parents are forcing them to study the major that they do not even understand why they have to study that major in that university. Like, why do I have to do that if I do not even know what I'm doing it for? And as my position as a mentor, or easier understanding would be a teacher, I have met students who keep complaining about their scores or their achievements, and they have a tendency to blame your teacher for every single thing that they do not accomplish in life. Every single time they win something, they appreciate that if they fail, they're going to blame their teacher for everything. But have we actually ever realized that we have become a puppet to our own mind? Young people complain a lot about their family, but have you ever reconsidered that your family brought you to life, they took really good care of you, or even your friends? Your friends might not be good enough, but they actually have always been there for you. They have accepted you, they have loved you, and they will always beside you during the most difficult times of your life. So where are the appreciations for all of that? And even for our teachers, sometimes we complain about them. There are a lot of bad thoughts going on inside this brain right here that I want to find a better teacher, a better mentor will help me accomplish whatever I want in life. Your teachers, although they're not perfect, but they are always trying to teach you everything they know in life. So, as a Buddhist, I have been practicing Buddhism for 13 years now. I have a family that has a Buddhist tradition. It runs in a family. I have always been practicing one thing, which is not to trust your own thoughts. And why is that? I will tell you 3 stories. The first story is a young boy in grade 8. He heard his teacher talking to all his classmates about the young boy is also the speaker here today. The teacher said, Nam is not good at English as everybody in the national team. He's not good enough. He's always standing out because you guys are not as good as him. That's the first story. The second story, when I was in my high school time in grade 10, 11, and 12, those were supposed to be the best years ever in a teenager's life. I suffered from a lot of traumatized events that happened to my family. When I was 17, my father passed away. It was a sudden loss for the whole house, and me and my mother and my younger brother, we have to lean on one another to live by, and we have to suffer the pain of losing someone we love a lot in life. That's the first shock of me in high school. When I was 18 years old, my house went down on fire. We lost nearly everything, and during the next 3 months, me and my younger brother, we had to move to our grandmother's house to stay there, to lean on her, while our mother was sustaining the family's financial status, and she was rebuilding everything. And I also remember the third story. When I was 17 years old, in my English class, I sat on my desk. My teacher was turning on a TEDx talk on a television for us to practice listening and speaking English. I was like, how do I ever get there? Like, when will I ever be on a TEDx stage, right? It sounds silly when I was just 17. I must be 30 or 45. I must be a really old man to get on a TEDx stage. Those were my thoughts during the most difficult, traumatized time. And the journey I have gone so far, that young boy, despite being discriminated by his teacher, he won the very first prize for the school in so many years. That young boy who have went through traumatized events of the family, he has managed to fight battles, to fight over himself, and to find back to get who he was at that time. He won the scholarship for university, for higher education. He went from Camo City, down in the south center region of Vietnam, to Hanoi, the capital city of Vietnam, to pursue higher education. That boy was me. And my TEDx dream, back when I was 17, I was wondering when will I ever get here. Now, at age 22, I have the most TEDx talk in Vietnam right now. That boy is also me. So the question is, are those really my thoughts? The thoughts that keep telling me, you cannot do it. You can never do this. You are not enough. You will win in your dreams. Are those really my thoughts? Or are those not my thoughts, actually? I figured out that those negative thoughts that you're having are not entirely yours, but instead the thoughts that of others that are affecting you the whole time, which without you noticing. There's one thing that I want you all to bear in mind, is that your brain, your mind, it has a lot of areas. Your inner self-talk is just like one part of it. You have your passion, you have your dream, you have your love life, you have your good and your bad memories, you have your family and whatever in there. So, do not let one part control every single thing. Do not let one part of your brain, of your mind, control entirely who you are as a person, because I know you are potential. You are full of potentials and you have not discovered yet. You make one mistake and you let that one mistake define who you are, then you are a loser, for sure. You will always make mistakes, and your mind will always tell you that you are not enough, but that are not true. Your brain is like a brain of a lot of thoughts. Learn how to control them, and I will show you how. Imagine you holding on your hand a lotus flower. It's a beautiful flower, it's pure, it represents innocence. Have you ever noticed that a lotus flower is always made of the things that are not a flower? It's made of mud, water, light, air, nutrients, and a lot of other factors that are not a lotus flower. Similarly, you are made of the things that are not you. You're made of your family, your culture, your traditions, and your hobbies in life, and other people affecting you as well. So, by controlling who you are, your identity, I mean it was controlling your thoughts. That's the first And I believe it's the most important component to begin with, to learn to control. And how do we control that component? Classification, okay? When the self-talk comes, I want you all to classify. If you do not classify your self-talk, you can never learn to manage it, to control it fully. So there are two forms of self-talk that we need to master, the passive one and the active one. When the passive self-talk comes to your mind, your thoughts are the main character. It's like 1% of who you are, and now they're like the main character, okay? When the active self-talk comes in, then you are the main character. For example, a bad event happened to your life, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm a bad person. Then what will the actions be? The actions will be you will start underestimating yourself. You will start undervaluing yourself and what you have accomplished so far in your life. That's the passive one. You let your thoughts control you. What about the active self-talk? When the active self-talk happens, a bad event happened to you. And then you're like, I will do something about it. I will make it better. I will get through it. And then your thoughts align with that. Your actions will be, I will implement strategies, I will put out plans, I will connect with other people to make my plans work so I can get over the situation immediately. Please keep this two in mind, okay? And this is your reality from now on. And how do we achieve that reality? For me, seeing things is merely a reflection. A reflection of what? Of the world? Not entirely true. Of your own thoughts? Not even that. So what reflection is it? It's a reflection of your consciousness. And you have to gain power for it. How do we gain power for it? By letting go of your thoughts, of your negative thoughts, of your uncontrollable thoughts as well. When you make a single mistake, as I mentioned earlier, you do not let it define you. But what are mistakes there for? What are they for? They are there for a reason. They will signal you when you need to change, to improve, to grow, or sometimes to pay back for whatever you have done wrong in your life. That's what mistakes are for, okay? Remember the lotus flower I mentioned earlier? You can think of a flower, but then only your consciousness will tell you what kind of flower it is. Is it beautiful for decorating in my house or not? Or is it just ugly? It's meaningless to me. You can think of yourself as a bad person, but only your consciousness will tell you how much you really know, how much you're appreciated by everybody out there. At the same time, this year and last year, I lost my blog page. I basically lost my popularity. You guys might come into this TEDx talk without even knowing who I am on stage. It was a hard feeling to endure, to suffer from. That was me right now. I lost my popularity, my fame, and everything I've ever built in the past years. I view myself as a loser. But then only my consciousness tells me the journey I have been through, the lives I have touched, and the heart I have healed out there. Today I'm wearing a kimono, and I was also struggling to find a traditional costume for this TEDx talk here. And when I was doing the research, my thoughts were like, no, you have to wear traditional Vietnamese clothes, or you have to wear formal clothes like a full suit. And then my consciousness comes in and tells me, you have to find something that defines who you are at the moment. I researched, and I found out that kimono has a lot of layers, as you guys can see here. And when it has a lot of layers, you have to learn to control each layer of the kimono. And that's how you learn to wear it properly. That's like a layer of our mind, of our thoughts. We have to control each of the layers mindfully. That's how. And this is the box of your mind, of your memories. And from now on, I want you all to take actions, not because they are good or they're bad, but because you are conscious of every single thing you're doing. Your bad thoughts do not define you. Your good thoughts do not define you as well. Do not get trapped in positivity, okay? Only your conscious thoughts, your most conscious thoughts, define who you are as a person. So your thoughts, your action, your mind, they all have to be conscious. That's basically Buddhism. And what to do when you're lazy, when you feel like you're lazy or you're sad? And you have to know that you're not entirely lazy, you're not entirely sad. If you are lazy, you create another version that is more hardworking. If you're sad, then you create a happier version. And then you let the hardworking version talk to your lazy version right here, and you let your hardworking version talk to you. After that, you let your happier version talk to you. You create different versions of who you want to become. That's the power of your thoughts, or even greater, the power of your consciousness. And what I want to emphasize in this talk is that no matter how many stereotypes or how many negative thoughts you're suffering from, let your consciousness solve the problem. You are who you are because of your consciousness. And let your thoughts back to up. And when you shift your mindset from, my thoughts will decide what I do, to, I will decide what I want to do, and then my thoughts will back me up. So, it's time to let go of your thoughts, which also means it's time to gain power for your consciousness. And that's the very ending of my talk today. I hope you guys enjoyed the idea, and pleasure to be standing here to talk to all of you. And I want to pay tribute to my mother, who has always been there for me during the journey of finding myself, and she held me back in a very difficult time in my life. And I want to pay a tribute to her, and I appreciate her presence in my life as much as I appreciate your presence here today with me as well. So thank you a lot. My name is Nam.